Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video relating based on similar values. This is very important because, one of the things in this space, there's a lot of focus on the initial meeting, the initial attraction. And it is very important because one of the things I'm finding just in consultations and, just paying attention is a lot of guys are just having trouble meeting the woman, period. Just meeting the woman and stuff. That's why there's a big debate over online versus in person and everything. Okay, that's understandable. Okay, but then what happens once you meet her? Because it's one thing to meet the woman, but then, okay, you have to relate to the woman. And when people relate, they're going to relate on similar values. See, understand, when we talk about relationships, the root word is relate. Y'all have to be able to get along. Y'all have to have similar values and stuff. It's one thing to have a certain type of personality, but, depending on your personality, you might be able to click with a bunch of people. You can only click with a few people. But you still have to have some values. Because the social aspect of relationships is still important. I focus more on the sexual side, but I said I got to talk about the social aspect as well. You have to have balance. And I don't mean just in plain social skills, because social skills mean, okay, you can talk to a random person. Okay, that's great. You're not afraid to meet that person. Those are basic social skills. You can have a polite conversation. You can say thank you and all of that stuff. All right. Okay. That's one thing. When you're talking about relate, that means you're dealing with a person on a day-to-day basis. Y'all have to talk. You texting, you're talking, you're going on dates. And even when you having sex, okay, what y'all going to do once you finish? You still have to talk. Shoot, even during sex. All right, what are y'all talking about? What are your values? Your values are very important. What do you like to do? What do you like to do? Like me, I'll use myself for an example. My idea of a hot date is going to a bookstore. That's my idea of a hot date, going to a bookstore, checking out what's there and everything. Maybe checking out a different type of restaurant. I value that. Like I love Ethiopian. I haven't had Ethiopian in a long time, but I love Ethiopian. Walking around and stuff, just traveling. Shoot, I value talking about business and all of that. I value going to the gym. Now, the women I would deal with would have to meet me on one of those things. Now, if I'm somebody who likes to work out, what would I do with somebody who don't like to work out? Like something. If I'm someone who likes to read, I like to go to a bookstore and stuff, what would I do with someone who doesn't like to read? Hasn't read anything deep. I remember I dealt with a woman one time, and very attractive, but I got turned off because she wasn't big on reading. And I was even questioning what her reading level was. I'm just be real with you. I was just like, it was a turnoff. A value system is your religion. If you practice and if you that type, whatever your path is, and you practice strictly adhering to that path, you're going to have a hard time with someone who doesn't have a path at all. Y'all might find each other physically enough to have some sex, but y'all going to run into a problem. Or say you're a person who's more, a good time for you is sitting around just having a good conversation in the home. But then that other person wants to go out and party and everything. Now with that, there's an argument like, well, maybe I can introduce each other to the different worlds, but still, that's not your thing, ultimately. If you're not that type who like being around a lot of people, but the other person likes to be around other people, there can be some issues because you value in different things. If y'all sitting around, you sitting down, y'all watching TV, you like watching the news channels and stuff. You want to know what's going on in the world. The other person, shoot, they want to watch all the reality shows and, you know, when they're online or something in social media, checking out all the gossip, you know, tweets and, you know, IG posts, YouTube channels and everything. It's two different things, you know? It's two different things. If you got different values as far as money, you might have a wealth consciousness. You value spending your money in a way, you're saving your money, spending your money smartly, and just really working towards really dealing with, you know, how you can make more money. That's your value system. You have a wealth consciousness, making your money work for you. You're not gonna spend it willy-nilly. But how would you deal with someone who, they got a poverty consciousness? The thing with the poverty consciousness is they're not thinking, they will get their money and spend it. That's why you even have some people, they might win the lottery for $1 million and it's gone in a year. That's because their consciousness isn't thinking towards, hey, let me take this $1 million and make 10 million. Their consciousness is thinking, oh, I got this money, let me spend, spend, spend. That's why that happens. It's the consciousness. But, you know, and that's a conversation more for my Money Matters channel. But as a man, if you got a wealth consciousness, you working on your business and everything, you trying to build up something, you will have trouble with a woman who's not on that same thing, because y'all don't have the same values. Indeed, think about you with a woman, y'all have fun, but y'all talking about getting married. All right, you value a land. You value land. You know, you want a big house with some land. You want some acres and stuff. And you value being like self-sufficient, kind of away from everything. You know, you want to be to the point, hey, you can even live off the land. That's what you value. Well, if she's like, well, you know, she don't want to be out there. She want to be in the middle of everything. she want to be in the middle of the city or something. Those are values. You have to relate. You still have to have it. Okay, you know, it's great. Honestly, it's great if you find each other physically attractive. You need to, but that's just the beginning. And it's great if y'all generally can have general conversations. But when you talk about relating, everything else come in, you know, what y'all going to do together. And I actually know of some married couples. They married and it's based on a physical thing, but their value system is totally different. I've known of couples who broke up for it. Like I knew this young lady and stuff. And I never forget what she said and stuff. I ain't calling her name and everything, but she had broke up from this guy. Now she's big on working out because I met her at a gym. She's big on working out. Her man wasn't. Even when she brought him to the gym, he didn't want to do any workouts or anything. He would just talk with her. They eventually broke up. They didn't have the same value as far as working out. But she found a guy who worked out just as much as her. They're happy. They're happy together. What they had that similar value. You still have to have the similar values, no matter what, if you're talking about relating. Now, if you're talking about just some quick hit the skins or something, oh, well, shoot, I just need to be physically attracted to each other and sexually attracted. Notice I said two different things. Or actually, mainly, you just want to hit the skins. Yeah, I just got to be down for having sex with each other. That's it. But you're talking about a relate. You're talking about a relationship. And, you know, let's be real. Many men want to relate. They ain't trying to be player, and all of that. Like for the men watching this, you know, you want wifey. You want all of that. But, and you know what? She got all the physicality that you want. And generally, y'all can talk about stuff, you know, as long as the conversation stay light. But then if you get deeper, what if y'all different, you know, what if like you're a conservative politically? You be like hard right-wing conservative and stuff, hardcore and stuff, or traditional values or something. What if her values are more like ultra-liberal or something? Yeah, y'all might have that physical attraction, but how y'all gonna truly relate? Y'all gonna be in conflict, you know? And let me just be clear, sometimes people get into that and say they'll try to change the person. Like people, you know, when people try to change someone, that means they have a physical attraction for them, but they ain't really dealing with the value system. You gotta have the value system. Like if you get married, what's your value system as far as raising the children, you know? You know, maybe you have a value system of, you know, you're gonna be strict. You know, the kids, they better not cut up. They can play and everything, but they would get, not so much as spankings, but appropriate punishment when they do something. They have to be respectful to the elders. Okay, what if the other person is like, oh, just let, treat the kids like an adult. Just let them do whatever and everything. Let them talk back to you and stuff. You're going to have trouble. So when you relate, you got to relate. You have to relate based on similar values. That's very important. We're talking about relating. Like I said, if you just want sex or something, I just need to have sexual attraction. But a lot of people want real relationships. And you gotta pay attention to the values. Yeah, and especially the more if you just boyfriend and girlfriend, okay, you might could let some things go. But if you're talking long term, and despite what people think, people still get married out here, okay, what's your values? Especially in marriage. They ain't about love. Let me say it again, it ain't about love. That might have got you there, but when you're talking day to day, y'all gotta be on the same page value-wise, or there's gonna be issues, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.